Today we'll be talking about the late great Ayrton Senna, who is undoubtedly one of the greatest of all time. But how fast was Ayrton? So what is it that made Senna so fast? Some have stated that it was his commitment and motivation and determination to win at all costs, with others stating his ability to remain calm under pressure. But only a select number of people have the skill set to pilot an F1 car, but to extract real performance from it you need an extraordinary technique, and Senna had that. At the wheel of the Nissan NSX we are offered rare insight by way of a footcam. Ayrton had an unusual throttle technique. From the clip you can see him stamp on and off the throttle on exiting a corner, but while there is no footage in an F1 car you can pick it up from the vibrato of the engine. Just listen to the clip of Monza. Most drivers make a single throttle input on the corner exit, but Ayrton, however, you hear is a blipping of the accelerator until the car has regained full traction. Technique breaks from conventional wisdom given to most drivers aiming to be as smooth as possible coming out of the corner. They do this to minimize the movement of weight around the car. Cars have suspensions, so the car's weight will move forward under braking and then move to the rear under acceleration. This transfer of weight means the car loses grip, which increases the chances of wheel spin. Once the car begins to slide and wheel spin occurs, you are not going to accelerate out of the corner as fast as possible. So why did Ayrton drive like this? It's said by some it came to his experience driving turbo cars. F1's turbo cars of the 1980s generated an abundance of power on the straights but would lose a lot of it when cornering. This created turbo lag, resulting in the car being slow exiting the corners. Senna was able to compensate for this lag by stabbing on the throttle repeatedly. This method kept the exhaust gases moving, the turbo spinning, and ensured that the engine stayed in its peak power range for longer. Some suggest it was a technique learnt in his karting days. But karts do not have suspensions and lack power. They don't transfer weight like a car. It's possible Senna's first kart had a binary throttle either on or off. If true, he would have needed to repeatedly stab the accelerator to maintain speed through the corner, forming a habit which stuck with him forever. From the 1989 F1 swapped out the turbo engines in favor of naturally aspirated units, and yet Senna still continued to use the blip throttle technique. Nonetheless, this proved to be an extremely difficult thing to do consistently over the span of a Grand Prix. Pat Simons, the chief engineer at Toleman in 1984, witnessed Senna at work behind the wheel saying, "We didn't have any instrumentation on the cars, we had a rev counter and temperature gauge, and that was it. Ayrton would tell you what the temperature was, how the car was handling, what the tires looked like, and what the engine sounded like, because our main bit of instrumentation was the actual noise. It was second nature to him." But since his time in F1, cars have gained significantly more downforce, and aerodynamics play a much bigger role than they did 40+ years ago. As we'll never know if Ayrton could have been competitive in F1 today. What we know is that when he was racing, the blip throttle technique helped give him an edge over the competition. With his legacy is that of a racing genius who went far beyond what the most thought was possible in terms of corner speed, lap time, and consistency over a GP weekend. If you liked the video, be sure to leave a like and a comment on what video I should make next, and if you're not subbed to the channel, hit that subscribe button. See you on the next video.